Hello, this is Kyle McAllister, and I'm doing a recording for Admin 524, Supervision of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessments. The recording, this video cast that we're doing today is on technology in the classroom, and we're looking at two different tools that are increasingly more commonly used in the classroom today. One is a more recent advent, one is a little more older technology, but definitely still useful. One is the Google Chromebook, and the older technology that's still useful is the use of the document camera in the classroom. The document camera has been used to replace the overhead projector and has a few more capabilities, and we'll be looking at those. But to start off, we're going to look at the Google Chromebook. Okay, looking at the Chromebook, we can see the first thing I want to draw your attention to is this figure right here, the price. Chromebooks are finding their way into the classroom more and more because of this factor right here. Laptops run anywhere between $4, $5 to a few $1,000s for a really good one. Lots of like maybe digital photo editing. A Google Chromebook is just a bare bones laptop. It's a touchpad with a keyboard, right? So it has access to internet. It has a keyboard, so it can work processor. Typically, that processor is going to be a Google processor, so it's going to be a cloud-based application. Not tons of software. You can get to your email. You can get on the internet and look at stuff, and you can use the Google applications. The Google applications really make this thing a profitable tool for the classroom, because the ability to do word processing, so for English classes definitely, but all classes that need writing done, right, so that's pretty much every class, is there. Also the ability to work collaboratively online with other students on the same classroom, or on the same word processor, or on the same like PowerPoint type application is definitely something that's beneficial. So to start off, how can Google Chromebooks be useful towards education and teaching and learning? There's lots of different things that make Chromebooks useful. Number one, it's access to internet for every student. Now, this can definitely be a problem with students getting on the internet and getting to places where they shouldn't be when you're directing them one place or another. So this is all coupled with good classroom management. But what we see is, especially in my classes, I tell the kids all the time, I say, look, I teach anatomy physiology. I really liked the class when I was in college. That does not mean that I know everything of every disease and every symptom and every illness, and you can ask me lots of questions I won't know the answers to. I am not a studied doctor. Okay, I will try my best to answer your questions, and we can answer them as soon as I find an answer to them. One thing that is great about having the Chromebooks in the classroom is that we have access to Google, a limitless bank of knowledge, and it's at our fingertips. So when students ask questions that I don't know the answer to, I say, hey, flip open your book and Google it. And so they Google it, and right there, right when education and learning is on the forefront of their mind, and they're really wanting to know an answer to something, we can get that answer instead of having to wait a day or two for me to remember to look it up and give them the answer to that. And then it'd be met with a because they kind of even forgot to ask the question. Now they see it, they learn it, and it's kind of an interesting tool. When we look at the pictures of Chromebooks, also we have that word processor there. So like I was saying earlier, one of the uses in the classroom is that we can actually use Google Docs to type papers, and one thing we can do is type them collaboratively. So that's something that's really useful in the classroom as far as like writing up lab reports where we have multiple students working in the same group. They can all take different responsibilities and write in different fonts, so we can better distinguish who did what in the group, and I can kind of then grade accordingly. I can also, because they can write together, they just have fun writing a little more because they're all working together, and they can kind of all be on the same document doing that. They can work on the same presentation together. They can work on the same Prezi together. All these current new types of cloud-based software, a lot of them are collaborative in their approach in trying to get multiple people from multiple computers working at the same time. Some other ideas that or some other advantages of Chromebooks in the classroom is the use of Google Classroom. The use of Google Classroom brings assignments and planners, automatic planners right there. Students can check their Google Classroom. It tells them when things are due. They can work on it from home with the technology they have. They can work from the computer lab. They can work from the library. They can work from wherever to work on their Chromebook. They can sync their phone to their classroom so that they get reminders. So as far as organization, it helps students. As far as organization, it helps teachers. I can sit and send messages. Hey, remember there's a test tomorrow. Come prepared. Come ready to study. Remember to do your review before class. And it sends that text message right to their phone without giving them my phone number, so I don't get prank calls in the middle of the night or any type of unflattering thoughts that possibly could be happening or something like that between a teacher and a student. Won't be there because it's all recorded right there in the classroom, and it's nothing's hidden. It's all transparent and out in the open. What the Google Chromebook does as well is it opens up a new avenue of creativity to students for accomplishing and showing that they know information. They can make videos. They can make a presentation on Google Slides. They can work and do a paper in their Google Docs, but from their Google Docs they can put in diagrams and pictures that they draw, or that they take pictures of with their phone, email it, and they can put it in there. They can search for diagrams of things, different molecules. We just did a project in my biology class regarding the polarity of water. So they put diagrams that they found online about water's polarity, then describe them. Then we can kind of talk about how do we cite and give credit to those that took those pictures or drew those pictures in our work, and talk about the importance of intellectual property rights, and just the limitations are to information and everything are endless, just having the internet at the student's hand. How does this help students meet the diverse needs of students? Well, there's lots of different ways that Chromebooks help meet diverse needs of students. One way is that it gets technology in the hands of all individual students in my classroom. So like every student, no matter their socioeconomic class, they get to have their hands on technology. They get to learn how to use technology, which is an important 21st century skill. As students are going to be going into the workplace, it's just going to be common knowledge how to work technology, how to work a computer, and they need to get that common knowledge from somewhere. And if their parents are not wealthy enough to be able to afford technology is an expensive thing. One thing that they can do is they can get access to it at school, and they can learn how to use applications and software and know that common language between applications, so that when they go to their stores or jobs of the future, that they're able to kind of work that software as well without being held back from getting that job from a kid that came from a more higher class background. Another thing that we can do is it allows the use of accessibility options. So we can use this computer to blow up and magnify things. Not only that, we can actually take my presentations that I have on my computer, and I can have them through software like JoinMe. I can have my students join my computer, and they can kind of see what's on my screen, and it's blown up right for them right at their table, so that if they can't see from long distances, like looking across the room. So now I have students that are visually impaired. This is helping them. We can do recording screencasts just like this right here, and I can put those screencasts of my lecture, of my note taking, of webinars on difficult ideas or topics, and I can put them on my website for students to look at after school. If they're having trouble with different homework, they can look up how to. When I was teaching physics, we did this. I did screencasts of me solving physics problems, put it on my website, and then students were able to go look at my physics, the physics problems, and then see how to do those, and get kind of help when they were working their own individual different problems. They were able to see how I was working mine, so they could do independent learning. So how do we implement the use of these Chromebooks? Now this is a difficult task. There's a lot of teachers that were not taught on computers. There's a lot of teachers that went to school before there were computers that I'm teaching with still, my veteran teachers, right? They went to the library and they don't even know, they look at card catalogs, they're looking for the actual catalog, the little pull it out and look for the Dewey Decimal System on cards. And then there's a computer there now. Like, how do they use that? They don't know. Well, how can we get those teachers to use these Chromebooks? Well, I think it's showing them how this technology is going to definitely aid and help them in their classroom. So one thing that's definitely going to be important when running for getting these implemented throughout school-wide and used school-wide and into teachers' hands is getting them, number one, in teachers' hands. I think this is a step process, though. I think number one, you have to get these into teachers' hands that are going to be using them to actually do school. So we have to get them into their hands first. We have to be able to get teachers that are going to be actually using these in their classrooms, actually be using these effectively, get the Chromebooks in their hands, get them using them, get them demonstrating that use amongst the whole school body, staff, and then when this rest of the staff are seeing how helpful this is and how it's helping them in their education, how it's helping the students, how the students are definitely gaining better from the use of these, then the desire to get these in their rooms is going to be there. Next, I think that you need to couple this with a technology integration specialist or technology specialist in your classroom, giving training. So like if you're using a Google Chromebook, definitely you're going to need to give trainings on how to use the Google applications to their fullest potential. So having a teacher, having this integration specialist going around giving, when the teachers get the Chromebooks, having them take these trainings on anything from the browser to the documents to Google Slides to Google Sheets, all these different applications, and showing them how they can get extensions and additions to these things, and useful extensions and additions to these things to help them understand the usefulness of it. I think that is definitely needed to support this, to support these teachers in this. I think that a continued question and answer basis between the Google Tech Integration Specialist and the teacher, offering peer observations of people that are actually using these correctly, is definitely important. And I think also maybe having our teachers that are excellently implementing these things, maybe recording their classroom, recording them giving a lesson or a mini lesson using the Chromebook, so that other teachers can kind of go on the network and go to some the staff drive and see how these teachers are using them, so that they can get some ideas on how to use them in their classroom. I think all those things are definitely important. The second form of technology that we're going to be looking at as far as using in the classroom is the document camera, and I'm trying to bring that up right now. I'm just kind of pausing it. Just 1 second. Okay, the second form of technology is the document camera. The document camera is right here. This is an example of a document camera that I have in my classroom. It's just really a webcam that's put on a stand with 3 arms, so they can stretch it out over top of a document and record it. The document camera has many different features to it. We have on this one in particular, you have a focus key, a snapshot key, swinging arms with 3 joints, and a weighted stand. This document camera is literally a lower class version of the old Elmos that have lights and everything, and they have actually a better zoom. See, I mean, you can really zoom in on even anything from like a hangnail on your hand to really sharp. Better zooming than these things. But one thing I have is just a desk light over by this that helps kids when I have the lights turned down so they can see the projector screen, but also illuminate what I'm trying to show them down here underneath the camera. Another handy thing is with this, how it kind of aids in the classroom, is that we can take this webcam off of the stand. So we can take this whole thing right here off, and I can go over and walk over to a microscope and point this down the microscope, like the eyepiece, and I can have students see what they should be seeing under my microscope with this guy. So and blow that up on my projection. So I see that problem all the time, as far as like Students never having seen slides of tissues before, or or anything like that. I can show them what to be looking for. You can use this to blow up pictures of diagrams in your book, and you can annotate, kind of like what we were doing before, so we can draw over the pictures and show. Maybe it's a picture of the continental United States here, and we're trying to show. I'm not a history teacher. This looks more like a brontosaurus, but here's Michigan. That might make it look better. I don't know. Now it just looks like caveman riding a brontosaurus. But we can show like all the wars that happened in the Civil War and highlight them, and then we can talk about the timing of those and why they happened, or I don't know. I can, if I have a picture of a heart, I can show the inflow of blood into the heart and how it comes down the right ventricle and then over into the lungs, and then from the lungs into the left atrium, and then into the left ventricle, and then out through the aorta to the rest of the body. I can annotate that and show that in different colors. I can. I think really the tool, the usefulness of this is really endless. Okay. How does this help students with our diverse students? Well, one thing is it creates a more visual classroom, right? So it helps us bring up our, just like our overhead projectors did, and just like the slide reels and video 8mm videos and everything, just like they did. It's making your class more visual. But what this kind of adds to is it brings this ability to annotate over, and it also brings this ability to record. So one thing that's definitely helpful with this is that I can record myself lecturing for students that are commonly sick, or students that are in the hospital, or students that are, for whatever reason, gone. I can record my lecture. I can record my notes that I take if I'm taking notes in class. I can record that whole thing, put it on my website, and then students that are gone aren't missing as much. Is it as valuable as if they're there? No. But they can still kind of see what we covered directly and get the same information that everyone else had access to while they were gone. So for my students that are sick a lot, gone a lot, I have a student right now that is recovering from leukemia that he had. So he was gone all the time. But one thing he was able to do is get some of the information once I got a hold of one of these. He was able to get a lot of the information directly from me, and see what the other kids were seeing when he wasn't able to be in class, and he was able to watch that when he was feeling better and not designated to a certain specific time, because maybe he's feeling sick from chemo, so he just can't focus, so definitely something that's good. I'm also able to do little webinars for students, and put those webinars on the classroom, so that when they're having trouble with their homework, they can kind of refer back. I think that another thing that this does is it allows me to, as I'm teaching, I can have my notes down here, but students can see, bring this up on their screens, or they can, it brings it up on the large screens, so that it helps with kids with visual impairments. Okay. Implementation. This is a way more simple tool. So I think just a small, getting to, having a small seminar with teachers, and then getting that just really in their hands and getting them using it with their computer. This is really an old, updated technology, not a brand new technology. So teachers that have been using overhead projectors, they're using this. They're going to see, oh, the same things I use overhead projectors for, I can use this for, but now it's even better. And now I can, at that thing, I can show them some kind of new things about the recording sessions, about the annotations, and show them how to annotate, and then, have them on their way. The support needs to be there with the tech integration specialist to answer questions and help with the use. But as far as this, it's way less invasive in the classroom than the Google Chromebook. So really, it's just really getting it in the hands of teachers. I think through peer observations, definitely, if teachers are having trouble, I think peer observation of teachers that are using these effectively in their class is definitely something I'd want my struggling teachers to go to and and check out. And if they're still struggling, maybe referring them to the training session again. Just checking on both these things, making sure that they're happening through walkthroughs and observations, making sure that teachers are feeling comfortable, providing a trusting environment where I can just say, hey, are you having any trouble with this? And they can answer me honestly, and if they are, we can get them the help they need to do better. I just want to thank you guys for listening, and this is integration of technology in the classroom, in the educational setting. Thank you.